thanks for joining us on Coffee Near Me.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Well, Sam is if we went into all his titles, we would take up all of our time. So he's a digital media strategist. We're going to go with that. Today we want to talk about what's been going on with Facebook and 50 million users and Cambridge Analytica. And really at the heart of all this is privacy. Are we naive to think that privacy still exists?
Well, for a long time we have worried about privacy and security in relation to the government, right?
Right.
A lot of people I know make jokes when they're on the phone or they're sending an email, and for the NSA agent who's reading this. When we think about that in relation to government, we don't talk about that much in relation to corporate surveillance. And I think one of the important things to keep in mind, this is really not just a conversation about Facebook. Any ad-supported platform is really built on following your data, selling insights based on data, from Google to how ads are served up on websites. It's why when you look at, I once checked out a Mama's Family DVD, and for months afterward, Thelma Harper was staring at me on every website I went to.
Busted!
Right, but that is the trade-off we have made in order to receive personalized services and an ad-supported internet.
But the bottom line is, I think consumers are naive, right? They click on that little user agreement, don't read it, and then all of a sudden they're surprised. Well, first of all, let's talk about surprise. It seemed like the 50 million, if you will, there was like different groups of people. Some could care less. Others are very enraged. And then there's the oblivious ones who don't even know what happened.
It's even interesting to think about the history of the idea of privacy in this context. A lot of the conversations and concerns about a right to privacy came with the rise of photography. So for the first time, the ability to capture someone's image and have it live on after them raised all sorts of new questions in terms of, we had a sense of like private property, right, and you can't trespass, but the idea of privacy in this media context was a new idea and raised all sorts of questions of if someone takes a picture through your window, or in what way can your image be used. And we've really seen, and now we're in an era where a lot of quote unquote free services are built on these questions. I think a lot of people have seen the benefits of these tools and have never really thought about the fact that these aren't utility companies providing you a heavily controlled service and regulated.
Yep. Which leads to a nice segue. Okay, so they're asking Mark Zuckerberg to testify before Congress. So far we're not sure which committees he's going to testify in front of. Where are we going with this?
It's fascinating because these conditions have always existed. You had to have a catalyst sort of moment. And it's not surprising in a way that this tied into politics and the government, because people are especially sensitive and suspicious when we're talking about people with political power being able to analyze this. And I'm interested in whether this becomes a conversation just about Facebook or about surveillance online in general, because
I think they go one and the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So, to my end, the question I don't think is necessarily one of, I think Facebook, like many companies, probably had the best of intentions at many point along the way. Didn't think about the unintended consequences of how the data can be used. I know a lot of good people that work for companies like Facebook, but you needed a sort of a moment or a situation that got people's attention and started having conversation about this, not just government surveillance, but now private company surveillance.
So there's no going back?
No, I don't think so. And I think it raises the question, have we as users asked for too little in return for all of the data or activity that we provide? Because if you think about Facebook, what is Facebook without the user's activity? There's nothing there, right? I mean, It's built on the activity. So if people start leaving or protesting Facebook, a lot of changes, I would assume, would have to happen in short order, because there's no company there without our participation.
And we've just begun the conversation. Sam Ford, digital media strategist, thanks for joining us on Coffee Near Me.
Appreciate it.
And of course, feel free to continue the conversation in the comment section below.